how do we feel about this report, or the information, the news that's come out, the finance that has been revealed by the government, that taxpayers paid £72 million for the King's coronation? Was this a good use of money? What are your thoughts on this?
Look, it's a huge amount of money, isn't it?
It's a huge amount of money, but I think it was worth every penny, personally. I think it was a wonderful event. I couldn't wait to be there to see it. I thought it was a man who waited 70 years for the job, and I think he got the best day of his life. And the crowds were huge. It was worldwide. Everybody watched it throughout the world. It gave our country a massive show of how great we do things. I think it was worth every penny.
Well, I wonder, like, you know, I actually wish that they'd spent more money on it and made it longer, because there was talk at the beginning where the King had kind of shortened the ceremony. There were some aspects that were off camera that we didn't get to see. I wanted it to go on for longer. You know, that's the point. The coronation should be celebrated. Spend lots of money on it.
Do you remember when they announced the date, there was all this chat, wasn't there, about whether we were going to get a cut-price coronation? And I think behind the scenes, the palace had done a little bit of their own polling and thought, do you know what? The Platinum Jubilee was such a success. People were so excited about that. People wanted to have a big do. They wanted to have a big celebration around the coronation. My only thing with it, we were very lucky. We were there in the congregation, and it felt like you were witnessing like a moment in history. It was this huge spectacle. But I did walk out there thinking, what does this mean to people at home who are struggling to decide whether they can feed their families or heat their homes? It's a lot. It is a lot of money, but I think it was a reflection of the King. It was like from the music to the congregation. Like, actually, it wasn't just a day out for all the peers in their ermine and all that kind of stuff. It felt more like a spring wedding. People dressed up in their favourite outfits, didn't it?
Yeah, but the preparation for it, the build-up to it, it was wonderful. I thought it was a great day. I was so pleased to be there. When I saw them on the balcony there and wearing their crowns, him and Camilla, I thought, well, you know, well done. You know, you finally got the job, and I was really pleased. And I am, you know, I'm a huge fan of the King. It's no secret. I really do like him, and I thought, you know, for 40 years I've been working, over 40 years I've been working with him, and he never ever once ever said when I'm king, because he realised that was the day his mother died, and there he was. He's finally the king, and he's on the balcony there, and that balcony, a famous balcony where Churchill stood after the war, where Princess Diana and Charles were married. They kissed on that balcony. It was fabulous. And there he was up there with Camilla, and I thought it was just brilliant. And I think it was 72 million, and I thought it was cheap.
We talk about the money, 72 million. If we look back, I think Queen Elizabeth II's was 162 million. Yeah. That's what I've got down here.
They've shaved a bit of the cost off it then.
They shaved a bit of the cost. The President of the United States would be inauguration anywhere between 80 million and 160 million pounds. Yeah, well, and Harry and Meghan's wedding was up to 38 million pounds. So the coronation,
there wasn't many guests there for that, was there?
Years.
The coronation is a big event in this country. It's a unique royal family to this country. It's been going since William the Conqueror, and I think, you know, if they can't do a proper job of a coronation, then what are we as a nation if we can't do it properly? And they did it properly, and I thought it was just brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
I think what's interesting, though, about this whole chat about how much it cost, I don't actually think there's the appetite this year to give the royal family a hammering about money. I just think that there hasn't been the outrage that he's our king that some people expected. Yes, there's been a few more protests and things.
But they're less and less now, aren't they?
Yeah.
They've given up almost, you know.
Some of the placards out. But also, I think it's been a tricky year for the family, hasn't it? And I think there's been, in a way, they've been humanised because of the cancer diagnosis. And so I think, sadly, probably for the Republican movement, it's not a great year to try and give the royal family a bashing over money. I don't think there's the appetite from the public to kind of have a go at them.
There is a lot of goodwill at the moment. You mentioned earlier about the coronation was, I mean, cast your mind back, it was almost 2 years ago. I'm trying to remember the date of when it was now, 2023.
Yeah.
So, you know, 18 months ago, when you cast your mind back, it was very child-centric. It was very much, you know, his party, as you say, almost like a wedding. It was a coronation. It was shaped around his personality.
Yeah.
Looking forward, and, you know, there is debate over how much this coronation cost. How do you think Prince William's coronation would look like? Do you think that he would be happy with spending £72 million on a coronation?
I think so. It'd probably be more then. I mean, it'd be a few more years yet, hopefully. And probably be 100 million. Well, you know, fine. I mean, they spend that on rockets, don't they? I mean, what's the... Why don't we just get our priorities right? You know, this is our sovereign, our head of state. You know, we've got to treat it properly, and I think we should. And I think we should have a great event for people to go out. I think we should have parties for it, coronation parties. I mean, I think it's just perfect. And I don't see what the problem is. You know, I remember when the Queen. I mean, I'm old enough when our late Queen was crowned, and we had a street party, and you know, we had no money then. We was very poor families in East London, but we enjoyed it. It was a great day. It was a great celebration. We had a day off school, and it was a fantastic event. And I just feel that, you know, William and Catherine on their balcony wearing the crowns, you know, I think it will be a fabulous picture. I think the ceremony at Westminster Abbey might be even shortened a bit, but I don't think that's important. I think the celebration for the nation is important. And worldwide, people look on that and say, you know, when they do it in Britain, they do it properly, you know, and everybody says that. When the English or the British do it, they do it brilliantly.
Yeah, I mean, it's a long way in the future, you know,
So it's a great long way in the future, yeah.
I think there'll be a lot of goodwill towards them as a couple. But for me, I think what the coronation did for King Charles, and also I think would do for William, is it's a way for them to set out their stall and go, ta-da, this is the kind of monarch that I'm going to be. So with Charles, it was a very kind of diverse congregation in terms of the music that he chose. He's also a man of faith, isn't he?
He is, of course.
And also that huge appreciation of other faiths.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think we see that from William. So for me, that will be quite interesting to see how he engages with the Christian side of things, because he will, of course, go on to be head of the Church of England. But how much will he weave that into his coronation? I think that would be fascinating to see.
I think that's a problem for the future, though, yeah.
The Princess of Wales, she'll be there at Horse Parade, but she won't be at the State Banquet, which is fair enough. It's a late night.
Do you know what? Just think about the fuss. Well, you boys don't have to think about it. The fuss of putting on a tiara and getting all dressed up in the evening. I can see why she'd rather stay. This time of year, why do you want to go out in the dark?